Hey guys, quick review today. Like I kept saying, Tesla still has some wiggle room in the RSI. We can't use moving averages anymore. We got to start looking at RSIs, and as long as it stays below at 85, it's a great intraday buy. Even if you buy 20 shares of it, you can kind of see today this little wedge tightening on Tesla. This little wedge and this bull flag above the VWAP, and then as soon as it broke the wedge, if you zoom in here, you can see the volume pick up right in here as it starts to pop this wedge. You can see it right there, volume expansion, and then the consolidation on lower volume, and then wham, big explosion, 90-point move from this little wedge in here at 1889. Not really one to buy and hold Tesla there, but these little pullbacks here intraday, wow. SE, buy those as well on pullbacks. Had 200 shares. I still have 100. I just keep moving the stop up. Another one, 147. So you get these moves to 150, 151. Beautiful moves on SE. Buying on weakness. LMPX. Hopefully you guys bought that the other day. And the 10s. That was the recommendation on Wednesday with the closing stop. I guess we don't want to see it below 980. 1515 is actually the closing resistance level, and then intraday you're getting a little bit of a pullback here, but it's a 70% move from the call on Wednesday. Where I like that chart as long as it held above this little area here at 980. So I got in the 10s. I was kind of shocked to see it pulling back so hard after such a strong close the prior day, but we stick to our guns and say, hey, closing stop 980s, 990s, and then you have this huge move, 70% move. Mayo, I bought some, not liking the action. Too many wicks, man. I hate how they keep selling into this. But longer term, I think as long as it holds this little channel marker on 374 and a close, I'm underwater. I got it at 429. Like I said, small position, so I'm not too concerned. Shorted Apple today for a little scalp. I keep probing, looking for market weakness, and you can see Apple hits this little channel top that we've seen over the last 5 or 10 days, and intraday it hit that channel top, so I got some short at 469.40. I covered some at 467.40 when it got to the VWAP. I had 200 short, made 200 on that, and then I got stopped at 468.20. If it bounced back up again, it should not. If it wanted to break the V up, it would not have retraced more than half of that move, and it did, so I got stopped out. Actually, I covered in here, I believe, on the second pullback, because I think I didn't short it here. I think I shorted in here once it made the double top. I needed to see more of a double top, so I shorted in here 469.40, 467.20, or 467.40 was my cover, and then I got stopped out on the rest. I believe it was at 468.20. It should have never pulled back up. It should have rolled back over here if we were going to see continued weakness. So I don't know. It may have another move down today, because now you're almost getting like a triple top in here, and the volume's kind of declining. So that could be a positive or a negative, depends. There's a little bit of complacency here or lack of follow through to push through and break to the upside. SQQQ sold half at the open from yesterday's buy, which was obviously the smart thing to do. I'm still positive on the other half, so I'm not really panicking here yet, but definitely got out at a nice spot, an entire point higher. I'm not sure the move in the Qs is done yet. I'm about ready to cut this loose too, because the top that we said the other day, yesterday at 279, which was our target, man, I bought SQQQ right when it hit that 279, and it worked out beautifully. Probably could have covered some or sold some SQQQ in after hours or pre-market, but smart to sell half, and now we're kind of retesting that. I think you're going to pull back, and then a lot of shorts are going to line up here, and then you're going to get a push through there, and they're going to get stopped out, and you're going to get a move to like 279.80 where I'll short it again, and then you'll pull back, and then I think you'll break the low here, and that'll be the setup. That's my strategy. I might be wrong, but we'll see what happens. So new target for QQQ before I feel comfortable shorting it would be 279.80. Once it pushes through there and gets everybody sucked in, and then you go back and retest at 275 and it can't hold it, and then you break down. That would be interesting. We'll see if that happens. The market's been super resilient here. So we know a few trades there. LMPX continue to look strong. Netgear has been strong. Little weakness today. CVAC, I don't even want to talk about it. I bought some yesterday at what I thought was a nice support level, and I should have held it into the close, but I didn't. I'm kind of going to cash every day in closes. XERS. This just popped up on my radar. Looks kind of interesting. XERS. Just an interesting pattern on the 1 year daily. And then PSTI. Hopefully you guys were able to get in some of that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm not recommending this, but usually when you have a hit up against the 200 exponential moving average, and then you retest it and pull back, and then you curl back up, it's kind of shown that it has no ability to get through there twice, and then hence the pullback. But now to go right back up there and retest it again, something's going on here. So I'm not saying we just go buy it here, but keep an eye on this one. I guess if you were to buy it, your stop would probably be around 390. But testing that 3 times is kind of interesting. I don't know. Keep an eye on that one for sure. Because you do have this big gap down on the daily. You're not going to see it here on these candles. And I believe there was news oriented, had a big gap. And then now you got right back above that gap. It's pretty wild. So here's the big gap down. Let me see if I can pull the right candles up here. We'll even put bar candles up and you'll see right there's the gap. So something's going on with XERS and I'm not quite sure what it is. Big gap down and then to go right back up and get back above the gap and then retest it kind of in this area and hold it. And then now you're attacking the 200 for a 3rd time again. I don't know. Something's going on here. So keep an eye on that one. XERS. Not a recommendation, but I might take a position in it with a stop. I don't know. 390s. Mayo I talked about. Not liking the action there. PSTI. A chart that I did like. Hopefully you got some today. Nice scalp on the 1020s. Got up to 1070. Here's your intraday. Still like the chart. But are we fighting like a little bit of market weakness here? So 1020s this morning, it's kind of thinly traded, has some weird spreads sometimes, but nice move. Just, you know, it just has a lot of resistance, I guess, at the 1090 again. So if that breaks through on the 1 year, is what I did like. It's got some move left in it, I think. So now you're getting a little bit of a crossover. The 20 never crossed below the 50. It kind of bounced. And now both moving averages are above the longer term. So interesting moves on PSTI. I don't know that we just buy and hold stuff here, but that and stuff like Tesla we talked about are great, and SE are great to buy on intraday weakness because you can make a heck of a lot of money. Just not inclined to buy and hold these yet. So keep an eye on those. Netgear still looks pretty good, but it's getting a pullback here. Qualcomm, not really liking the action, but hopefully you guys got in that before earnings or even after earnings on the curl up. LRN broke the 45 support, but I think we're all out of that anyway. CBAY has been very strong. And so has Magic Software, one of our old recommendations from much lower prices. We're out of SRNE. Hopefully you guys are out of that. We had a nice move selling it much higher. And then JNUG. A lot of guys were asking me about gold miners. GDXJ is what JNUG tracks. And I think when you look at GDXJ on a 1 year, JNUG's great for buying reversals intraday. Still not ready to buy and hold it. Because if you look at the 1 year GDXJ chart, I think you're basing along a prior resistance level, which now becomes support. So we have this little channel top in here. I didn't play the gap open there on the channel. On the chart, I kind of played the prior top because you had a big reversal, and then you kind of bumped up, and then you had some congestion, you fired up, and you retested it. I still think that move's been too much to digest right here for another leg up. So you break out, you pull back, you retest, and you pop, but they gap it down again. So it needs more time, I think. But intraday scalps, it's okay. I just don't think it's ready for a buy and hold yet. That was a nice washout move. And it got a little bit higher than I would have expected for a retrace and a continuation downward move. So we'll have to see if it kind of holds this area on GDXJ, and that's what JNUG tracks. So be cautious there. Like I said, great for intraday moves. to buy on weakness, but I'm not sure I want to buy and hold any JNUG yet.